So it is the 16th of August, and we have about 3 days because I know that there are some people in different parts of the world that are pretty much going to get this game on the 20th. And I think over on this side of America, we're getting it on the 19th. So I don't know. For a lot of times, it's just been saying it's been coming out on the 20th, so we might get it earlier over here in the States compared to whoever else is getting on the 20th. But I kind of wanted to talk about this game and what it means to me. And I think this is the best time before it's too late. So without further ado, let's talk about what Black Myth Wukong means to me. So the question is asked, what does Black Myth Wukong mean to me? So for the past 4 years that I've been paying attention to this game, like I've said many a times in the past, when I first saw this, closely to 4 years ago, when I watched the first 13 minutes of gameplay, this was something that was unseen of, unheard of. And of course, we've had action games, RPG games, open world, slightly open world, linear, so many games that you can think of that you can probably compare to what Black Myth Wukong is. Like people like comparing it to Souls, like, even though it's not a Souls like game, but that's neither here nor there. But everything that you could pretty much compare this game to, you thought you've seen it all until this came about. So when I first watched the 13 minutes of gameplay, I was like, what? I was like, wow, man. I mean, of course, I've seen combat like this. I've seen, architecture like this, or vegetation, or shadows, or the ray tracing, or the graphics, or the sounds, the gameplay. I've seen this before in other games, but it was something different about this that I really could just be like, there is something different about this game than most games that we have played throughout the years. And for the past years of some now, we really haven't been having much games that can be engaging to the fans. Even though I'll say for like the past couple of years, we have had some good games, but not in the likes of the caliber of what I think Black Myth Wukong is going to be once it releases. So, for instance, we've had the Stellar Blades, the Final Fantasies, the Elden Rings, God of Wars. Now, some of you may believe that Elden Ring has really changed and shifted somewhat of the gaming industry, and I can understand when you say that, especially when it comes to like a Souls game. But for me, I just saw it as just another Souls game. But Black Myth Wukong, because of the story that it's going to tell, the mystery that it has, and I'll talk about the marketing once I get to it, just to try to, differentiate it amongst other games. But the story that it's going to tell, even though we don't know much, the mystery about the story, the sounds, the music, the gameplay, the characters, because we know that this game is just not about the Destined One or Sun Wukong. It's mainly about the characters around the world in itself, and I really like that, because if you have read Journey to the West, which I haven't, you understand the Monkey King and his setting in the story and going on a journey with his companions, going to the West and whatnot. If you've watched the show 1986 Journey to the West, you understand the story. If you watch any iteration of the Monkey King, whether it's in films, cartoons, games, whatever it is, you understand what this is, right? But when it comes to making a game that nobody probably thought that what it was going to be, it's just a game changer. It's something different. And of course, there have been there have been Black Myth Wukong games. There have been games that have had the Monkey King in it, right? But they just weren't paid attention to. And I don't think that they were going to sell what Game Science is trying to sell us with this game. And I just think overall that it could slightly shift the gaming industry in a way. I think that most developers and most people who will play and pay attention to this game And this is just my thoughts right off the bat, not going into I think that this is going to happen, but this is my thoughts. I think if this game is very successful, if it sells well, if the story is told immaculately well, I think that a lot of developers and people are going to pay attention and be like, we have probably not gone in a way of telling stories in a video game like this game has, and especially the developers that are attached to this. I think that a lot of people are going to look at this as, I don't know, as probably like the blueprint of how they will make games in the future. Because every game that has coming out in the past years, certain games have copied, certain concepts of certain things that previous games have done before, or they were inspired by it. And just to take that and you make this game for what Black Myth Wukong is, which could have taken inspirations from many action games, maybe what of Souls-like games, and you put this into a story that is well known in Chinese folklore, and you just make a game out of it. It's something spectacular. I mean, people from over China understand what this means to them, and this really means like a lot. And I've heard them speak about it, that this game really means so much to them as far as cultural aspects, as far as a story aspect, as far as a gaming aspect, because I don't know a lot of Chinese developers, but I do know that Game Science have made at least 2 mobile games before they made Black Myth Wukong. This is like their first AAA game, and something of this caliber speaks volumes that many would not understand. Matter of fact, I'll tell you this, I do not think that many people are having their eyes or paying attention to this game until it comes out. Matter of fact, I don't even think a lot of people were paying attention to this game the first time that we saw gameplay, or even the second year. I think that now that it's closely coming out to release, people are starting to pay attention. I've been paying attention to this for over 4 years now. I think people are recently starting to getting noticed about this game. That's honestly how I feel. And I think it's slightly going to be the same as like Ghost of Tsushima, because certain people really didn't think it was going to be all that at first, and some of my friends didn't really pay attention to Ghost of Tsushima, and that was a game that I was really looking forward to. I've posted like videos or maybe like photos and stuff on social media just to get me hyped up. The same thing that I'm doing with Black Myth Wukong, I had that same effect with Ghost of Tsushima, and people later on, once the game released, they started saying, oh, this game is great, I've never played a game like this before, yada 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 yada. But they never paid attention to it before it was released. They never paid attention to the gameplay, the state of plays, none of that. This is how I feel the same way how I felt about Ghost of Tsushima about Black Myth Wukong. So for over 4 years, they have given us content, from trailers to short films to gameplay, and far as like the websites and everything, or website. They have given us content that we could probably just think, well, is this game actually going to happen? Is it really real? And this is the aspect that I'm talking about, the marketing. The marketing is something, I don't know if I want to say genius, but I just want to say how they separated certain content, how they separated certain things from having 2 or 3 or just 1 or 2 vids a year. We wait until the next year, then we get some content. It had a lot of, certain people that were paying attention to this on the edge of their seats, because I was yearning at times when I would see this, when I would see Black Myth Wukong, I was yearning and fiending for more information, more gameplay, more of whatever I can take. I was like a damn fiend. It's like I needed more. And it's like the less they show, the more you want. But even though they were showing so much content, it's like they really did not explain the story of the game whatsoever because they were just releasing combat gameplay. And I know a lot of people are just concerned because that's strictly what it's what's been advertised. Even if you have some cinematics here and there, even though they had the 6-minute cinematech video, but it's really been all about gameplay, music, graphics, and the mystery is still there what this game is going to be about. Of course, we know that it takes after Journey to the West, but we're playing as the Destined One. We're not really playing as Sun Wukong. We're playing as the Destined One. So he could be off trying to find, in a sense, of his own immortality. Well, in this game, he slightly is immortal because someone had explained it to me that I thought that was very understandable, that even when he dies, there's like a piece of like the Monkey King's hair. And when you get to a checkpoint, that's where you can revive. So slightly, it's just you really, I mean, you can be defeated, but you really can't die in this game because you're going to respawn at a checkpoint, you know, anyway. But it's just something about this game that just strikes me to be very different, very game changing, and something that a lot of us are going to talk about for maybe the next year or so or never. Or if we have conversations about this, we'll probably say, well, what was a game that, even though we saw games like this many a times, this was the one that we probably had more conversations about, that probably was a game shifter and a game changer. And I think Black Myth Wukong is going to be that game. Now, I will say that I don't want to be too anxious. I don't want to be like expecting way too much from out of this. But from what I've been paying attention to, my expectations and hype are way up here because of what I've been seeing and what I've been paying attention to. This game means, I don't want to say it means that much to me because there are people in China, there are people who have paid attention to stories of Journey to the West that are way more excited and can understand way much more than me. But for something like this, the story that's being, or that's going to be told, the way that they went about this direction of giving out portions of this game with trailers and whatnot, Game Science really believes that this is going to be something that a lot of people are really going to enjoy, even if we didn't get much information. Or I don't even know why I even have to say this. I understand the situation that they have gone through with journalists. I said this in my previous video when I did the reaction to the final trailer. The journalists and Sweet Baby Inc., that whole entire situation, the false claims and not having specific evidence to back up their claims that if they were like this type of sexist company or whatever. But it's very hard to try to push something out like this. And yet there are people that are trying to tarnish this. There are people that don't even believe the hype of Black Myth Wukong. They just think it's just going to be another game, and and it could be that. I mean, all of this that I could be saying could just literally mean nothing. It could just be a game that we all just play and that we eventually move on, because we're all humans. We eventually do move on to something next, as far as with trends, everything else. Like if it's social media or anything, what's popping right now, we can literally just move on after its use. But I think within Black Myth Wukong, this is a game that you can actually have many edited videos of story, telling the complexity of this game, the lore, everything that you can make a video, put it up on YouTube, whatever. People, or even if you have conversations with your friends or whoever, this will be the game that people will be talking about for quite some time because of the ambition that's behind it, because of what people are waiting to see, waiting to play, their expectations level. It's just like there are people that are very excited for this game, and I'm one of them. But it's just, we have so much expectations. Even if your expectations are low, you can't lie to me and say when you first saw this game it just didn't shock you somehow. But if it didn't, okay, cool, that's fine. But if this game like hits you hard to the core, when you were paying attention to it afterwards by the trailers or anything else that you've seen, you know what this game really means to you. Even if the people that are in China that are watching, if you're Americans, understand that. But I know that, you know, you people in China, this really means so much to you. It really means so much to me as a gamer because I'm a gamer. I've been playing video games for close to 32 years. Well, I don't want to say 32 years because, of course, as was Infinite, I wasn't playing video games. But for a long time, for 20-something years, for what I have been playing of video games, something like this, something of a AAA game in this matter, means that much to me because the past AAA games, if we talk about God of War or Stellar Blade or anything, they were great. They were fantastic. But this game exceeds the expectations that I had for Ghost of Tsushima. And it's like, I'm waiting for this game to be all of that and more. But if it's not, I'm just talking out of my ass. And I really need to cut this camera off and this video off. But nonetheless, when Black Myth Wukong finally comes out, I can only hope that this game is going to be an extravaganza. The hype, if you're a wrestling fan, the hype of a WrestleMania that's coming out, or of a Super Bowl, or the All-Star game, or whatever that really gets you excited, or whatever that you've been yearning for, whatever that is just having your expectations set up to be so high, or the feeling of this game coming out if you never thought something of a caliber of this game would ever even exist in gaming. This is what you have been waiting for, and Game Science, I believe, is going to deliver by the 19th or the 20th whenever you get this game. I've pre-ordered it. I can't wait to play it. Of course, I will have gameplay on my channel, and to notify you guys, I will be recording and editing the gameplay on this channel. I'm not going to do live streams. If you enjoy live streams, that's cool, but do me a favor, support other people that are doing the live stream videos. And if you want to wait on for me when I upload my videos, then do that too. But and this is strictly for, it's a perfect time for a lot of creators, especially if they don't have many subscribers. I believe by now this game, Black Myth Wukong, is also going to help them out. And I'm going to be wrapping up this video very soon because it's almost at 20 minutes. And I know y'all don't want to take a look at this video for that long. But I believe that this game will also help, like I just said, a lot of creators. A lot of creators. So, just with that being said, if I haven't uploaded a video by the day of release or whenever, go support other channels, whether it's on Twitch, YouTube, I guess on Rumble too. I have Rumble, but I don't know how long the duration of how you can upload videos up on there. And I have it, but I wasn't really fooling around with it. And there were just other types of content I was looking up on there anyway. Not as a main source, because I usually use YouTube more than Rumble. But go support them. Then wait for me if you want to watch my videos of Black Myth Wukong. It will be more of matter of fact, I want you, if you do not know this content creator by the name of Hollow, he used to go as Hollow Point. If you take a look at his gameplay, take a look at the way that he do his games, that's kind of what I'm going for. I've been inspired by that man for so many years, and to watch all of his gameplays, whether it has been for a God of War or a Mafia 3 or whatever, Call of Duty, whatever it is, he has been my inspiration to make gaming videos. And in that way, that's how I want to make mine. So in the future, if I'll have mainly different parts to my gameplay of Black Myth Wukong. So I just wanted to notify you guys on that. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. I know that this was a long one, but it's probably going to be over 20 minutes because I had to record a first portion of this part, and then it's 18 minutes on this half too. So if it's long, I do apologize, but I wanted to get that out the way because I am very excited for this game and I cannot wait for it. Transformations, the powers, the abilities, the characters, the Destined One, the sounds, the soundtrack. And I got the digital deluxe edition, so I'm going to be listening to that soundtrack, baby, before I play that game. But everything that Game Science has to offer, to give to us, I appreciate them for it. I appreciate them for this moment, and hopefully it will help out my channel in a sense or not. But till then, I want to say game science, if they aren't paying attention or whatever, I just want to say it anyway. Thank you for this game. Thank you for this opportunity that a lot of us will be having to enjoy your game, and hopefully that you will have many to create after, and you will give us a story to tell, something to remember, something to look back after, and we can be like, oh, game science, that Black Myth Wukong game, simply amazing. Or I could just be talking out of my ass. Anywho, if you guys enjoy this, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell for more content in the future. Let me know in the comment section what you think about my thoughts of Black Myth Wukong. And I will see you guys either on the 19th or the 20th. Just know that I will have some gameplay on this channel, and you need to be there. Talk to you guys soon. I'm out. Peace.